Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on Ocugen. I've talked about them on the channel a couple times here and haven't went over them lately. And so it's past due going over them. But here's a look at their 1 year. Just amazing. Up 1,734%. Just crazy. So like I said, I haven't looked at this one in a while. I actually saw something here. I mean, that would have been an awesome time to get into this one. I thought I had some shares here in Robinhood, but I guess I don't. It's in my retirement. But what I was looking at here on the 1 year, this keeps having these run-ups in February to $15.81. Pulls back to the $5 range, $15.68 in May. Pulls back to the $6 range, $7. Trades kind of sideways and runs up to the $15.67 again. The exact same amount and falls back down. So this was in February, May, and November. So I'm wondering if it's going to do it again. I was sitting here looking at it thinking, I'll pick up some shares on the dips and cash out on these $15 run-ups. There's been 3 of them over the last year, so even if you accumulated and say it hit in February again, I think that'd be a good investment, but I'm going to start watching this one closer. But again, this is Ocugen, ticker OCGN. Here's a look at the last 3 months. Had a nice run-up there. Could have got in, cashed out, and bought in again. So that all happened in 1-2 days. Just fell back down. So something going on with this one. There's some catalysts. I know this one has been talks for the vaccine a time or two. So if you don't know what Ocugen is, they were working on a vaccine at one point in time. It is a biopharmaceutical company which engages in development and commercialization of therapies to cure eye diseases. That's what originally got me into it, but since I was in it, they were talking about doing a vaccine from time to time, and I think that's what all these run-ups are. I mean, that's just amazing from January 28th, just a little bit over a week, running up over $10, but worth a shot. I think I'm going to check into this one and watch a little bit closer. This is founded in 2013. 13 million shares being traded. On the average, it's 17.3 with a $1.09 billion market cap. 52-week low of 0.2856 and a 52-week high of $18.77. So if you know somebody got in there and probably got out there or somewhere in between and made a killing on that one, and if you could do an option on that, that would be wow. Something else. But earnings, here's a look at the earnings. Next one is coming up on March 17th in the pre-market. And as you can see, I haven't bought any of this one for quite some time. Currently at $5.38. So too bad that didn't fill. So it looks like I had tried buying some here 2 different times. $2.20 and $2.10. But I do have some of this one in a retirement account, but I thought I had some here in Robinhood, but it doesn't look like it. So I have talked about this on the channel numerous times. I used to watch this one all the time. Bing here is showing it as a buy at $8.88. And here's a little bit more about Ocugen. Leader in personalized restorative cell therapies to active living. Our first investigational product candidate, NeoCard, is a proprietary RCT that rebuilds a patient's own knee cartilage, treating pain. So they must be into a couple different things. So Originally, when I got into it, like I said, it was for the eyes, but here's an interesting article I thought just 2 days ago. Better buy Ocugen or Pfizer. And those of you that follow my channel close know I'm been holding Pfizer way before the March of 2020. It's pretty stable stock. It's got a decent dividend. It has finally appreciated some. It used to be in the $38, $40 range for quite some time, and then I think it's in the 50s now. I'd have to look, but I don't pay too close attention to it, but it has ran up. So there are plenty of options when it comes to vaccine stock investing these days. You can choose a player that's already generating billions of dollars in sales from the vaccine and other products, or you can bet on a latecomer that may see revenue and share gains down the road. So you might opt for a vaccine leader Pfizer, for example, or you might go for Ocugen. This company hasn't yet brought its vaccine candidate to the market, and let's look at which may be the better buy right now. So Ocugen has a potential for major gains. As I already showed you, Ocugen surged more than 700% in a matter of weeks earlier this year, and then on optimism about potential vaccine sales, the biotech company partnered with Bharat Biotech to co-commercialize that company's vaccine, Covaxin. In the United States, the deal later expanded into Canada, but Ocugen had struggled to actually bring Covaxin to the market. As a result, shares have dropped 68% from their peak back in February. Problem is, the U.S. FDA recommended Ocugen follow the traditional regulatory path instead of applying for emergency use authorization. That means much longer review time, and Ocugen must conduct a new Phase 3 trial to confirm the safety and efficacy results of Bharat's trials. So right there you have it. Now might be the time to look at this one before it runs up again. Just looking at the 1 year, that's the first thing that I caught. I'm like, this keeps running up every so many months, and getting on the $5 and $6 range, and might be worth checking it out. So but anyway, just a thought. But if you have Ocugen, go ahead and list that in the comments and let me know. But what you have and what your cost basis is. But the Ocugen shares may climb if the company is successful with its gene therapy candidates, and I would expect those gains to be more progressive than today's sharp movements on vaccine news. Today the stock is trading at about $5, so investors don't have to invest a lot to potentially benefit from an increase in the biotech player in the future. Pfizer is something to attract nearly every investor. If you're an income-seeking investor, Pfizer is a no-brainer choice over Ocugen. The big drug maker dividend currently yields a 2.7. It's a pretty safe bet that Pfizer will increase its dividend for years to come. Ocugen, of course, doesn't make enough money to pay a dividend. Value investors will no doubt like Pfizer a lot more than Ocugen as well. Pfizer shares trade at close to 11 times expected earnings. That's a lot lower than the S&P 500 forward earnings multiple. It's also well below the average forward price to earnings ratio for pharmaceutical stocks in general. It's difficult to assess Ocugen valuation since the company doesn't have a steady revenue or earnings yet. So if you get into this one, you might just want to watch it, be safe with it. I don't know, set your trailing stop so you don't lose too much on it. That's just a thought. Again, I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice, just stating an opinion. So, but in my view, buying Ocugen stock is similar to playing roulette. You could make a lot of money, but you could also lose a lot of money too. Buying Pfizer shares, on the other hand, is more like being in the casino. Over the long run, you'll very likely to be a winner. So again, Ocugen or Pfizer. And you can leave in the comments what your comment is about Ocugen or Pfizer, or if you have either one or both, and what your plans are to do with it. Ocugen Incorporated announces inducement grants under NASDAQ listing rule. And so they're a biopharmaceutical company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing gene therapies to cure blindness disease and developing a vaccine to save lives. Today announced a compensation committee of the board of directors of Ocugen approved the grant of stock options to purchase an aggregate of 6,750 shares of its common stock and restricted stock units, covering an aggregate of 1,150 shares of common stock to one newly hired team member. Stock options and RSUs were granted as of December 16, 2021, as material inducements to employment in accordance with the NASDAQ listing rule. Ocugen is down but not out. Since early November, when Ocugen stock was trading for as much as $16.28 per share, clinical stage biotech play briefly fell to a penny stock levels under $5 per share a few days back, before bouncing back to around $5.50 per share, mostly because investors have less confidence in the company's vaccine catalyst. For about a year, Ocugen has been a hot play among traders, thanks to a deal it made with India's Bharat Biotech. Covaxin to the United States and Canadian markets. News of this sent it from trading for well under $1 per share to a double-digit stock price, yet as it makes little progress bringing the vaccine to market, fears that it is game over for the catalysts are rising. So, I don't know, this is the way it runs up. It might be worth just a couple shares. I'm going to try it and see what it does, and if it keeps trading sideways, you can always buy some more, or goes up, you can sell it. Like I said, you might want to put a trailing stop if you're worried about losing some money. Just a thought. Looking into Ocugen's Incorporated recent short interest. Short percent of the float has fallen 14.6% since its last report. The company recently reported that it has 46.93 million shares sold short, which is 24.05% of all the regular shares that are available for trading. Based on its trading volume, it would take traders 1.5 days to cover their short positions on average. This kind of goes over why short interest matters. Ocugen Incorporated interest graph over 3 months. So you can kind of see that's went down a little bit. Moving on over here, Ocugen shares move higher, try to recover a key technical level, and this is dated here today. Shares are trading higher Tuesday as the stock attempts to recover a key support level. The stock looks to have no company-specific news to explain the jump in price, but was trending higher on social media sites throughout the day. Ocugen closed up 5.61%. at $5.46. And here's some information over the daily chart analysis. Stock was trading in a sideways channel, and the price looks to have recently fallen below the $6 support level that has held multiple times in the past. This area may become resistance in the future. If you're able to break back above the $6 level, resistance may be found near the $10 level, as the stock previously struggled to cross above the area. The stock trades below both the 50-day moving average green and the 200-day moving average in the blue. And there's a chart. What's next for Ocugen? Looks as though it may be beginning to curl and trade higher. If able to cross back above the $6 level, the stock may start to look more bullish once again. So definitely one to watch. And Ocugen to 100 is back on the menu. 2 months ago, nothing new there. Stock twits currently at 546, a low of 29 cents, high of 1877, with a $1.04 billion market cap. News in the morning, which will take shares much higher, and the chart has a strong buy signals. Joe wants to know if things are getting better, as we had 400,000 deaths this year, and we are calling into the military to help the hospitals. 400 deaths this year, and call the military. Absolutely. There you go. Empty eyes, shameless. Empty everything. Wesley Snipes, awesome. Wesley is one of my favorites. New Jack City is a classic. I believe it was back in 1990, but if you haven't seen New Jack City, I would suggest it. You can leave that in the comments if you've seen it or not also. Fake trade, short, trying hard for shares. Tomorrow, big up watch. Over here on Tip Ranks, currently at 546 with a moderate buy with a 60% upside to 875. So even if you bought here, you could make a little over $3, get a 60%, high of 15, low of 4. But I'm going to be pulling the trigger on this one, I think, tomorrow. It's definitely worth a shot and see what happens with it, especially if you can get one of these dips. So there's a 30 cents play even if you played it over the day, so definitely worth a shot. But if you have Ocugen, go ahead and list it in the comments along with your cost basis, any other information you might have, and if you trade it or if you're holding it, or if you like Pfizer better, and if there's any other stocks out there you want me to take a look at, I'd be happy to take a look at those as well. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, Falling Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.